Drum roll, please. I want to talk about this idea of feeling like you have to continuously prove yourself. And I want to talk to you specifically if you have been part of the Great Resignation. And here's why. I want to reveal something to you that you may have never considered, having worked for a big company, for someone else, for a brand, for an organization that you felt really, provided you with all the resources that you needed to accomplish everything that you've accomplished as a professional. So this idea of proving yourself is so critical if you are stepping into an entirely new world. I'm thinking of The Little Mermaid right now. But here's where I'm going with this idea. So if you have worked for a big company, if you have ever carried a business card with a brand name that people recognize, like Google, Procter & Gamble, Peloton, what have you, and you have felt as if the reason people pick up your phone, the reason anyone would give you a chance was only because of that brand on your business card, only because you were still employed by a big brand on LinkedIn, only because of anything other than who you are, then I think it's really important for you to find a new place where you can reach into your own experiences, your heart, your own sense of accomplishment, and find certainty there and anchor yourself in that which can never be taken away from you, even if you have left a big job, even if you intend to leave a big job. I was having a reset session. These are 15-minute sessions, totally free for anyone who has ever left a company. So right now, if you feel like the rug has been pulled out from under you and you're in a place where you're just like, I don't know what to do because my days were once scheduled, organized. I knew what to expect. I knew what coffee house I was going to go to. I knew how I was going to get to work. I knew what I would wear on a Monday or a Wednesday. And now you're not in that place. You're like, holy crap, what do I do? How do I get back up? Those are the sessions where I help you figure out what your best next step will be. And I'll put the link in my bio for you to actually schedule that free session, okay? Hey, Aaron. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Ann. Hello, roller coaster. So I think it's important for you to realize that whatever you've done in your past, and a lot of people who have worked for big companies, they tend to think that you have a lot of brand equity on the inside, right? So your brand as a professional, it's something that I believe actually you take with you. Okay, let me give you an example. I'm thinking really specifically about a client right now who has been working on the agency side for over 10 years. First of all, I want you to understand that from an advertising or communications agency perspective, that's like dog years, right? So there's loyalty there. Chances are this person, if she were to go for an opportunity anywhere else that doesn't know her, she is bringing with her that insane amount of loyalty, which is very unusual on the agency side, or even based on what people are doing in like the last couple of years, right? You see a lot of job hopping. You see a lot of people going from A to B to etc. So the idea that she can only be and feel worthy while working for her current employer, and she's gonna have to prove herself from the ground up when she enters the door of a new organization is complete bullshit. That is a way that you are being told to stay put, even if you don't feel so good in your job. I want to tell you right now, okay? And it's so interesting because for me, I got the message from a different angle. I remember being told as a little girl, get an education. You get an education and no one can take that away from you. I'm here to say the same applies. If you're the type of person who was able to make a company, let's say you're in business development, $3 million in 2 years, who the hell is anyone else to tell you your market value, okay? You did it. You're proven. You're coming with that experience. I mean, in terms of the value that you bring to the table to any other place, even if you don't have the business card, even if, and I know this is a vulnerable spot, even if on LinkedIn you decided to like tell the truth and say, okay, the final day was January 2022, right? A lot of people don't make those updates because they feel that if they don't have a job, they're going to be taken for granted. They're not going to look as valuable. That's just a mind game. It's a mind game, okay? And I could tell if the tone of your voice is a little shaky, that's how we can tell the insecurities that lie deeply within you. That is how a lot of individuals that end up working for the same sort of company eventually end up being in the same spot. And you don't need that because you are proven. If you are proven, no one can take away the fact that you are proven. You totally are proven. Now, do you have to reestablish yourself in a new company? For sure. Do you have to get to know who the real decision makers are in a company? Yeah, absolutely. Do you have to now adjust your approach and the way that you apply your skills? 100%. But to think that if you have 30 years, 20 years, 10 years of experience making someone else money in these market conditions, the financial crisis, the internet bubble burst, what else? I mean, for goodness sakes, if you've done it before, you could do it again. And just because you're not in a position where you have a brand name business card currently employed or your LinkedIn profile shows like a smooth sort of sailing career, it does not mean that you're not proven. We're not taking that away from you. I've seen people take that away from themselves. You really do. And I think it's unnecessary. And I think it's so important for anyone that is now feeling like they're in a spot where they don't know what's next to get some help. And that's why I want to offer to you for free a 15-minute reset session. I'll put the link in the bio. I believe it already is. But go ahead and sign up for that because ultimately, what I have come to realize is that once you feel like you no longer have a big brand behind you, you no longer have this status of being employed, you no longer have the predictability that gives you a sense of safety and security and certainty that we all want. Sometimes you just feel like you're hanging out flailing, right? Your arms all over the place, drowning in a huge ocean. But I gotta believe that, and I want you to know that, my God, there will always be a dinghy, just to like keep with the metaphor. There's always a life jacket. There's always a way for you to get to the next beautiful tropical island. There always is. But if you're scared, if you're there swimming and you just feel like you're drowning and you are not asking for help, ain't nobody gonna help you. And it's gonna be hard, really, really hard, harder than it needs to be. And so step one, when I've had those reset sessions, for this one person, for example, that I'm thinking about this last week, for her to hear that someone has brought in $3 million over the course of 2 years for an organization, and this person is in her 60s, and for that person to assume she's not worth more than whatever she last earned, I mean, it just got me totally like I wanted to just go in and like fight for her, like real hard. But ultimately, I can't fight for you, but I can teach you how to fight for yourself. I totally can teach you how to fight for yourself. And I think there's actually beauty in standing up for your worth. There's actually beauty in holding on to everything that you've already done. Because damn, if you are proven, no one can take it away from you but yourself. No one could take that away from you but yourself. So I want to be sure that you don't have that vulnerability. If you have that vulnerability, this is what tends to happen. What tends to happen is if you're coming into a conversation and you think that you are not enough, you don't belong, you have nowhere that you want to, belong, or whatever the case might be, then you're not going to ask for your worth. You're not. You might even reject your worth, okay? You'll look at a job description and then you won't apply. You won't apply. And if you do, it'll be days until you apply, because it's going to take days for you to convince yourself that you should apply, because you might be second guessing yourself. And so that's really where I help people just kind of see that, like, okay, really, like this is a good opportunity. It's not going to stay open for the long haul. Absolutely not. So that's actually when you have to step it up. And if you apply to that one thing, then you need to like have some sort of momentum behind your job search, because once you're out of the quote unquote game, my God, it feels hard. It just feels hard to get back into the swing of things and the routine and have that momentum. And that momentum helps. That momentum absolutely helps, but it starts with just understanding and realizing, where are you right now? What is this baseline? What is day zero right now? What does that feel like for you? Because if it feels uncertain, if it feels like you have to prove yourself now, if it feels like you don't want to be judged, if it feels like you want to just like run away and like hide out and not tell anyone that you're looking for, I don't know, to start your own business, if you're looking to start a podcast, if you're looking to write a book, if you're looking to find a hybrid job, if you're looking to work from home indefinitely, if you're not telling people this, it's going to be really hard for anyone to help you. And chances are, I bet you anything, maybe not in your first degree network, maybe in your second degree, or God forbid your third degree, which includes strangers, chances are the opportunity that you want, that you really, really, really want, we're not talking about the one that you might rationalize wanting, the one that has just enough money, just enough responsibility, just enough, whatever. No, I mean what you really, really want, chances are you could find it there. But you've got to be brave enough to understand that regardless of your status, your employment status, regardless of when the last time was that you actually, did digital marketing, regardless of how up to date or relevant you feel, if you've proven yourself before, you've got to own it and you've got to keep that thought alive. It's not about entitlement. I'm talking about someone who has proven themselves. Like if somebody came up to me and said, Melissa, I have made $3 million. I'm in my 60s and, I am here and looking for more employment. You think I'm going to question how good she is or how much energy she is? Like if she was able to get $3 million in 2 years with whatever level of energy she has, my God, cool, work for me, right? So I think it's just something it's a risk if you don't recognize it. And I don't want you to just go back, because there's this pull, right? You just came back from a secure, seemingly secure, a certain, almost perfect, as in you knew what to expect scenario, and you're going to be pulled back if you don't realize that your equity, the equity of your skills, your talents, your contributions, your relationships, every single thing you could possibly imagine, even someone having a good time hanging out with you because you work together and you know how to say some amazing jokes while you're in a conference room, even that has value. And that's the value you have to retain. You really have to retain it. No one else is going to do this for you. So I want to invite you to schedule a reset session with me right now. If this is interesting to you, the comments, some sort of emoji, right? A happy face, whatever. Pop in an emoji. I want to hear from you. I want to know that this is resonating with you. I want to know that you are in a place right now where you want something different. You're not looking for the same old in terms of like working for the same kind of team, the same kind of boss, the same kind of company. No, if you want to be an entrepreneur, do it. If you want to be a podcaster, do it. If you want to be, a book writer, an author, do it. An editor, do it. Whatever is on your heart, that equity, your skills, your talents, it's transferable. You bring that with you, okay? We don't even need business cards anymore at this point, right? Physical business cards I'm thinking about. You don't need that. What you need is to just realize that you have value. You have retained your value, right? You are proven. You can continue to do this amazing work in any capacity that you desire. You have value. You matter. You always mattered, and I don't care what anyone else ever said to you. You always mattered. You always will matter. And for goodness sakes, let's just act like we matter, because we do. All right, so who's into this? Who wants to sign up for a reset session? Pop it in the comments. I want to see an emoji. Show me a happy face. That's the simplest emoji. Show me what else? Whatever silly emoji you like, because I kind of like being silly. I think levity has a lot to do with how you can get through the day with a lot more ease and a lot more joy. Just being like yourself. I want to just end with this one thing. I recently, just yesterday, I actually did a free master class, and it's available as a replay right now. So if you wanted to sign up for this, I would invite you to do so. melissalarena.com/questions. And in that master class, what I decided to do was just show up. Just show up, not be like all full makeup and have this like amazing dress and whatnot. Instead, I was like, okay, I'm here to teach people the art of asking questions. I'm here to teach people how to consider someone else when they are crafting questions for like a podcast guest, or they're coming up with questions for like a prospect to which they want to sell, or they're coming up with questions to guide themselves in terms of writing a book and putting together an outline with questions. I've done that. And so when I decided to deliver this without makeup, I didn't think anything of it, right? And so some people would say, damn, that's unprofessional. My goodness, you couldn't put on makeup. You couldn't have, gotten all dressed up. You couldn't have, I don't even know, gotten like the right filters in place. And for me, I'm not thinking about the value that I bring to somebody aesthetically. We're talking about asking questions. We're talking about the strategy. We're talking about the content. We're talking about how you present yourself in the most favorable light as it relates to who you really are, who you really, really, really are. So can you retain your power? Can you retain your energy? Can you retain your value even if you didn't have a moment to go and put on makeup? Can you do that? And for me, I've had to do that. I've had to do that because I'm a mom. I have 3 little kids. Hey, Derek, I'm a mom. I have 3 little children. I actually did have makeup. However, I'm not going to go bonkers with it, right? For me, it's not as important as what is coming out of my mouth. It's not as important as the way that I'm treating the people in the room. And the funny thing was that the person who gave me feedback for that free masterclass, how to ask wildly perceptive questions. So again, it's available to you if you're interested. Sign up, link in the bio. That person found that refreshing. She found that it was refreshing that I didn't have makeup, just like my participants. And I thought that was so interesting. And I thought to myself, I had no idea that that was part of the value that I bring to the table. Granted, there's a filter here, and God bless filters, right? What tired mom does not enjoy a filter? However, just imagine that. What if the value is not just in the work that you do, but what if the value is in the presence? What if the value is literally like being in an airport, sitting next to your peer, your work peer, and the fact that you're like a cool person and you're able to have a down-to-earth conversation with someone that might be a little nervous about that client meeting, right? There's value there too. So retain your value, know your worth, and sign up for that free reset session with me. That reset session is specifically for someone who feels like they don't know what's next. If you decided to resign, or if the rug has been pulled out from under you and you don't know what to do next tangibly, what is your best next step? Schedule that free reset session. It's 15 minutes and we'll hop on Zoom and I'll help you really think through and gain that clarity that you need. 15 minutes, that's it. Take advantage of it. I would love to see you there and meet you. All right, bye. Thank you so much and have an amazing rest of your day and happy almost weekend.